Good morning, students. Today I am going to discuss the poem Wind, which is in the class 9 syllabus of CBSE. Without wasting time, let me move on. Before I begin, I would just like to remind you that today is Ravindra Jayanti, 9th May. So, wish you all very happy Ravindra Jayanti. Hope you celebrate it and remember the great soul on this very auspicious day. Okay, the reason of my selection of this poem on 9th May is that there is a very significant connection between one of the songs of Tagore and the theme of this poem. I'll tell that after I finish discussing the syllabus oriented, exam oriented discussion of the poem. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. So, here in the first 4 lines, we see that the poet, who is Subramaniam Bharati, is urging the wind to come softly and gently instead of ushering in, rushing inside the room in a very arrogant or violent manner. The wind is being compared to a naughty child. Okay, the wind is compared to a naughty child who is in the habit of destructing things, of indulging in destructive activities. Here, the poet is forbidding the wind to behave like a naughty child. What does a naughty child do? He indulges in destructive activities. He breaks his toys. He litters the room. He makes the room messy and dirty. He sets the room to disorder. The poet here urges the wind to abstain from doing such violent or aggressive activities. So the poet tells the wind not to break the shutter of the window. What are the shutters? The shutters are the panes of the windows. In Bengali, we call them khorkhori. The poet also strictly forbids the wind to scatter the papers and to set the books which are arranged neatly on the shelf in disarray. Not to mess with the books which are arranged neatly on the shelf. Okay. Next. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. Now the poet says, but despite my repeated warning, see what you did. The wind rushed in a very violent and arrogant manner and destroyed the entire calm of the scene, of the situation. It threw down the books on the floor, tore the pages of the book, and brought rain again. So the wind is not obeying the order of the poet. Why? Because the wind is a natural force. The wind is a natural agent. The wind is not habituated to taking orders from anyone. The wind will not carry out orders delivered by anyone. The wind will work according to its own will. So the wind does not obey the instruction of the poet. On stark contrast, the wind acts according to its free will. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So, here the poet describes the nature of the wind. That you take fun, you receive fun, you derive fun by mocking others, by teasing others, the weak person. You derive fun by teasing the weak people, the people who do not know how to resist themselves from your attack. You take fun, you derive fun, you obtain fun by making fun at those people, by teasing those people, by ridiculing those people, by mocking those people. And the houses which are weak, you make them crumble down. The people who are weak, you make them crumble down. So this is absolutely not accepted. This is absolutely not accepted. Frail, crumbling houses, frail, crumbling hearts. So you subject the people who are weak to torture, to torment. And as like you remember during Ampan, all the weak houses they shattered. And what happened as a result of this massive destruction? The people lost their near and dear ones. People got bereaved of their near and dear ones. BEREAVED. So crumbling hearts and crumbling lives. So the effect, the impact of wind is massive, destructive, wide range. It spreads on a wide range. The wind has the capacity to destroy lives, to cause massive destruction. Isn't it so? The wind has the capacity to perpetrate violence, to perpetrate aggression. That is what the poet is talking about here, the destructive nature of the wind in the first few lines of the poem. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So the hearts, the houses, all these elements, the wind comes and shatters, destroys, ruins. Massive destruction is caused by the wind. The destructive nature of the wind is being discussed here. The massive destruction, the wide range destruction, the devastation caused by the wind is being described here by the poet in the first few lines of the poem. He won't do what you tell him. Why? Because the wind is a natural force, as I told you. So the wind is not going to carry out the orders delivered by the poet. Definitely not. Because the wind acts according to its own free will, being a natural force, an agent of nature. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body, make the heart steadfast. Now, think of the time of Ampan, as I was telling you. Did the houses, which are the buildings, crumble down in the Ampan? Why not? Because they were strongly fortified. They were built of strong cement. Isn't it so? Just a second. So it was not that easy to subjugate those houses to destruction. It was not so easy to devastate those strongly built houses. It was not so easy to ruin the strongly fortified buildings. So here in the next part of the poem, the poet urges the people to build strong houses with extremely well constructed fortification. Here the poet urges the people to build strong houses, to construct strong houses which will have extraordinary brilliant fortification that will be able to resist the attack of the wind. Strong built, well built houses will be well constructed houses, will be able to resist the attack of the wind. To join the doors firmly. The doors should be such, the doors should be so firm, so strong that they will be able to resist the attack of the winds. They will be able to fight, combat the strong wind. Okay, fight against or combat the strong wind. Practice to form the body. People should learn to make their bodies strong and firm and healthy. Sturdy, firm, strong, healthy bodies will be able to fight against or combat the onslaught of the wind. Onslaught means attack. It will be able to fight against the destructive wind, make the heart steadfast. So you should also make your heart very strong. You should be a brave heart. You should be so strong that you will be able to combat the destructive characteristic of the wind. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. Do this and the winds will be friends with us. Here the poet points out the positive, the optimistic characteristic of the wind, that if you know how to protect your house, how to protect yourself, how to protect your body and mind from the wind, then the wind will become your best friend in your journey of life. Here, the wind is a symbol of the tough situations in life. This is a symbolic poem where the wind is a metaphor for the tough situation, the tough time, the hardships of life. So, if we know how to fortify ourselves, how to make our body and mind strong enough to combat, to fight against the wind, then we will be able to make the wind our best friend. When there is a very flickering flame, a weak flame, the wind blows it away. But when there is a strong flame, a glowing flame, the wind makes it glow and blow stronger. Similarly, when strong people are subjected to tough situations or hardships or hard times in their life, they grow even stronger. They learn from those situations and they groom themselves in such a way that they are able to fight against or combat the situations appropriately. Because they don't get daunted, they don't get dominated by that situation. They don't allow themselves to be subjugated by the situation. Rather, they take lessons, they learn lessons from that situation and they become stronger. But the weak people, when weak people are subjected to tough situations, they crumble, they shatter. They are not able to develop the mental strength which is required to fight against or combat the situation. They don't have the adequate mental strength, the mental strength which is necessary to fight against or combat a tough situation or a hard time in your life. So here the weak fire is a metaphor, it stands for the weak people, and the strong fire is a metaphor for the strong people. Okay, this is a symbolic poem. Wind equal to hardship of life, weak fire equal to weak people, and strong fire equal to the strong people, people with adequate mental strength. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. So we should not consider wind to be our enemy. Rather, wind is our very own friend. If we know how to make wind our friend, then we will be able to praise the presence of wind in our life. What is the symbol in reality? Tough situations are not our enemies. Rather, tough situations in life are golden opportunities which we can milk in order to reap the maximum benefit, REAP. If we know how to turn the unfavorable situation to our own favor by mastering strength, MUSTERING, not mastering, by mastering strength, by mastering courage, then we will be able to evolve into better, strong human beings who will be able to serve the society better with better mental strength. So we need to bring the adverse situation in our life, the tough situation in our life, to our own favor by learning how to brave oddities, how to combat the tough situation. In that way, we will evolve into better human beings with better mental strength and stronger prowess of mind. We will be able to become harder, tougher. We will be able to become tougher, stronger. We will be able to serve society better. So as I told you, now the literary devices in the poem, please see, don't. 3 don'ts in the beginning of 3 consecutive lines. This is the example of a perfect anaphora. You. This is the example, and you, another anaphora. Okay, now wind blows out weak fire, WW, alliteration. Okay, fires roar and flourish, FF, again alliteration. Okay, crumbling, this repetition, this is a repetition of the word crumbling. Okay, so if you go through the poem very minutely, you will be able to understand that it has a very beautiful link with Tagore's poem, Tagore's song, যেতে যেতে একলা পথে নিভেছে মোর বাতি, ঝড় এসেছে ওরে এবার ঝড়কে পেলেম সাথী. So ঝড় or wind, storm, it becomes sathi or our friend if we know how to turn the disfavorable or unfavorable situation in our life to our favor. If we know how to combat the oddities of life, how to fight against the tough situations in our life, then jhor or wind will become our sathi or companion, and we will evolve as better human beings, as I told you, as tougher human beings, as stronger human beings who will be able to retain their mental calm and mental strength during any hardship of life. So here the poet discusses about the destructive nature of wind by comparing the wind to a naughty child. In the second part, it talks about how we can bring that destructive force of nature to our own favor, how we can bring that. And it also, this poem is a metaphor where it's a symbolic poem where wind is being compared to the hardships of life. Wind is being compared to the tough situations in life, weak fire with the weak people, strong fire with the strong people. And it discusses how the weak people get shattered in face of tough situation, but the strong people who are able to survive and combat and fight against the tough situations, they evolve as better and stronger human beings. With this, I will end the discussion of the poem. Hope you find it helpful. If you have any doubt, please don't hesitate to drop your doubt in the comment box. Thank you. Take care in the pandemic. Remember, the pandemic is also a tough situation, like a wind which has come. If we know how to protect ourselves, we will definitely, if we keep our mental strength and pray, then definitely the world will see a better tomorrow. Take care of yourself. With prayers and good wishes for all of you. Bye.